Hey, bricks and mortar retailers, welcome to this week's training in the Facebook group and on YouTube. And today we're going to be talking about this issue of low revenue within our bricks and mortar store and how we can turn that around, how we can go about increasing our revenue through deeper customer engagement. So that has been the theme of the week: low revenue in our stores and, of course, customer engagement. So, as always, there is a worksheet associated with this training. If you want a copy of the worksheet, just pop the word worksheet in the comments section below. And make sure that you like this video. It just helps other people see this. It'll show up in the algorithm. And if you haven't already, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel to get more information about trainings and all the other fantastic value that I think I give in helping you grow your bricks and mortar store. So let's rock and roll. So as mentioned, we're going to be talking about how we can turn around that situation of low revenue within your store via using the technique or basically the old school technique of customer engagement. So the big mistake that many retailers make when it comes to trying to connect with customers is we generally have a lack of understanding of our customer needs and our customer preferences. And that's more than likely stemming from the fact that we haven't taken the time to really understand our customers by understanding our ideal target market or target markets. We probably haven't put together a customer persona or anything like that. So that's one of the main reasons why we have problems connecting with our customers. And why we have problems understanding their needs and their preferences in a way that can be used to increase revenue in our store. The other fact is that many of us tend to focus on transactions rather than building relationships. So this is a really big problem that happens now, happens especially so with a lot of retailers. A lot of the big box retailers are doing the same, making the same mistake as well. I guess it's because of this perception that everyone is doing their shopping online and they don't want to bring engagement in. They don't want to talk to customers, or the customers don't want to be connecting with the people that work in the shop anymore, which is totally false. So that's a really big mistake. The next mistake is that we have insufficient communication with our customers. We have such tremendous opportunity with all the technology that's available at the moment to communicate properly with our customers, to increase engagement with our customers that walk into our store. And these are just some of the really, really big mistakes that we make. And the consequence of these basically is we miss the opportunity for customer loyalty and repeat business. We miss the opportunity to differentiate ourselves from our competitors. And trust me, a lot of our competitors, a lot of the big box retailers as well, and even the online retailers, they don't have much customer engagement. And as a consequence of not connecting well with our customers and engaging well, we're going to have decreased customer satisfaction and decreased trust, right? And the cause of this, I briefly touched on, is the fact that we really haven't taken the time to think about who our ideal customers are. We're too busy running around trying to save our business. We haven't really been taught how to engage our customers. And, if you go to MBA school, which I haven't, by the way, but I've looked into it, this whole customer engagement piece, there are people that do their PhD on customer engagement. These are whole 6-month units and in university, and it's very, very problematic for us as a bricks and mortar retail store owner to get this part right. So that's why typically many of us don't get this part right. And for a lot of us also, it just ends up being in the too hard basket. I mean, who's really got the time within their bricks and mortar store to think about all of these things to increase customer engagement? And if we do it, it's usually on an ad hoc basis. We try one technique, it doesn't work, we give up, and it's just too hard. So if we get this right, if we get the customer engagement piece right, not only are we going to turn around that situation of low revenue, we are going to be able to connect with our customers on a deeper level. We're going to be able to build strong relationships, and we're going to have increased trust, increased understanding from our customers. We're going to have much, much better loyalty and advocacy. And you all know I've spoken about loyalty before. once we start to have more loyal customers that keep coming back, one, they're coming to the store a lot more. Two, loyal customers, we know they spend more than our regular customers, once-off customers that come in. So your revenue is going to go up, profitability will go up, your um, profitability will go up, your cash flow will go up, and of course, basically the lifetime value of your customer increases, and as a consequence, that your revenue increases as well. So they're all the things that happens when we get this right. So basically, what are the steps that we need to take in our business to increase customer revenue? So I'll run through that now, and I'm going to run you through how we can put together a plan, a customer engagement plan. I'm not going to run through the whole thing. Obviously, I'll do that with my clients, but I'll just give you the outline and the worksheet, which you can have and do for yourself, which is pretty self-explanatory. As I said, if you want to copy the worksheet, just hit me up with the word worksheet down the bottom. So, needless to say, part of the whole customer engagement experience or the customer engagement piece is to start to personalize the customer experience. And what I want to really emphasize here is we need to start to tailor the experience to individual customers. And we can do this in a few ways. The biggest and the best way that we can do this with our clients is on a one-on-one basis. This is our big advantage over the e-commerce stores and over the large retailers as well. Very few large retailers do this very well. And this bit here of personalizing and tailoring the experience to individual customers is such a big opportunity for us, because even the retail store down the road, although they may be a direct competitor, they're not actually doing this either. So what does this involve? This involves retraining your team, making sure that your team are able to build connections with your customers and clients, that they actually know how to serve properly. They know how to build relationships. They've got some basic NLP and basic sales training. They know how to match and mirror, ask the right questions, build connections. And ultimately, what we're aiming for is to be able to solve our customers' problems and providing the full solution to their problems. And this level of engagement that we can provide by doing this in person is nothing can surpass that, and nobody's doing it properly. And so once we are obviously listening to our clients and customers, we can then tailor solutions for them properly. So that's really one of the really important pieces in the whole customer experience piece. The next thing is we can personalize customer experiences by using customer data. So if you haven't, many of us hopefully are utilizing our loyalty programs and our point of sale systems. I say hopefully because I know many of us are not. I mean, not many of us have time to do this kind of thing. But really, this is we're sitting on such a gold mine, because through utilizing your loyalty program, and hopefully your team are asking at the register all the time to scan the loyalty card of your customer within your store, you can start to segment data, you can start to build campaigns, and you can start to email your clients and customers and communicate with them. Perhaps your loyalty program and your point of sale software, you can communicate via app. We can do that now. You can do it by traditional email. You can even do it by old school snail mail, which is a great way to stand out in the market. But the whole point of this is that we're offering another touch point to our clients and customers. And we're offering another touch point to offer them a solution to their problem by utilizing personalized recommendations and personalized promotions directly to them. So, with your point of sale system, you can drill down, and whoever bought widget X, they might like widget Y, and you can send them an email and or a postcard and offering a really good promotional offer to get them to come into store and purchase these other products. So there's so many tricks, not even tricks. There's so many ways that we can be delighting our customers through this extra level of engagement that we need to really start to consider. And of course, I want to say it goes without saying, but it doesn't, unfortunately, is that we can create a welcoming and attentive environment in our stores, which provides much better customer engagement. So there's some really great tactics, in fact, that we can learn from the bigger retailers on how they do this really well. Obviously, your product displays and how we interact with the product displays by using samples and making sure that people can try things on if that's what your retail store is all about, or provide sampling. Other thing, making sure that we utilize good use of multimedia within the store to engage our customers as well. There's so many simple ways that many retailers are doing this. And of course, this boils down to even basic things like ticketing and merchandising, all the basics of retailing that for whatever reason, many of us have forgotten because we're so busy chasing our tail, not doing anything, doing other things, I beg your pardon. So that's how we go about personalizing the experience. And once you start to do this, you're going to turn around that low revenue situation. Your revenue is going to go up because you're engaging your clients and customers a lot more. They are going to end up buying more because you're offering and you're presenting to them the full solution to their problems, on whatever problems they have that your bricks and mortar store solves. That was a mouthful. So that's what we need to do. We need to personalize the experience. The next thing is effective communication. Um, you realize what I'm doing here is all rocket science, right? So yes, this is all basic retailing that many of us have forgotten, either because we're not retailers and we didn't go to retail school, and many of us have forgotten because we're too busy in our stores, and many of us have forgotten because we think that because our e-commerce cousins don't need to do it, we don't need to do it either. But actually, they are doing it really, really well. So it's really important that we start to communicate effectively. And so this goes back to making sure that our team are really good at actively listening, and we are serving our customers properly. But also, one part of meaningful communication is making sure that we're responding promptly and empathetically to customer inquiries. So this is just real basic things, like if somebody calls into the store, making sure we have a system in place, like calls, rings the phone, and making sure that we have a system in place to properly attend to that call. And if we need to call that customer back because we don't have a particular product or service in stock, and making sure we have some system in place that we can call back the customer within a timely manner. And part of that is also keeping the client or customer up to date on where the progress is of that particular order or inquiry they made. Really simple stuff, but many of us forget about it and don't have any system in place. The other thing is making sure that we respond to comments or inquiries that come through digitally, like maybe through our website, maybe through Google. Hopefully you've got your Google page set up, your Google business entry, and simple things like our social media. So making sure that we're we're responding to inquiries that are coming through in a timely manner, in a professional manner as well. So make sure that you have policies and procedures in place on how to respond, properly to all those incoming messages that come in. And also, the other really important point about meaningful communication is making sure that we are using all communication channels available to us to communicate with our potential clients and customers, right? Obviously, we've got email, we've got social media, we've got media within the store as well. Obviously, the big thing is to make sure that we're communicating in person. So I think this is our biggest opportunity that we have, because this whole in-person communication, people actually want to deal with people. Most people do anyway, and you'll find the bulk of people that really do spend a lot of money within our stores are going to value this human connection, and there's a tremendous opportunity for us. Sure, there are people that prefer to shop online and prefer not to deal with people in store, but for the people that want to, and there's a large percentage of the population that still does want to, and it's never going away, there's a tremendous opportunity for us to be that store within our local area that provides exceptional, outstanding customer service and is able to engage and communicate well with our clients and customers. And it's just going to be so much better for you as a business in the community. You're going to have more revenue, but you really make sure you will be the business that stands out. So communicate effectively. That's that. The next thing is we need to start to build a community, and building a community around your store is one of the key differentiating factors from other bricks and mortar stores. You can do things like organize events, workshops, making sure that you've got some sort of buzz of activity happening in your store, perhaps on a monthly basis. We can see some of the larger um, makeup retailers do this really well. People like Sephora, they always having in-store events. Obviously, that's a very tactile kind of a retail business, but we can apply those kind of same strategies within whatever retail store that we have. So making sure that we've got constantly a buzz happening and make sure we're communicating about these events and workshops. The education piece is so big now. People want to learn more about things and they are happy to come to information nights. Perhaps you're doing an information night about a particular product or you're solving a particular problem, inviting people to come over just builds that touch point. And it doesn't have to be a really big production. It doesn't have to cost you a lot of money. You can utilize your team, utilize your suppliers to put together an event in store. And suppliers love this. And they usually are happy to send one of their representatives along as well. But you can negotiate all of those things, give your clients free products, free services, whatever it might be. But there's a tremendous opportunity there as well. So making sure that we are doing some sort of community type events. And the last piece, I think, is one that we miss out on as retailers because we probably never really taught to, but we want to make sure that we try and encourage our customers to share their experiences and provide referrals. So asking for that Google review, it's so important. Perhaps we can do that via sending them an email, sending customers on our database an email, perhaps asking it in store, or we could do particular days, a couple of times a month, where we have at the register we just proactively ask for reviews, make it really easy, and that really builds a community amongst what's happening in your store. So that's those are the three main ways that, of course, there are so many other ways, but these are three ways that you can build customer engagement to increase revenue within your bricks and mortar store. So, what usually stops bricks and mortar retailer business owners from doing this? Like, we all know what we need to do, right? Like, this is, like I mentioned before, this is retailing 101. It's basic stuff. But what stops us from doing that? And basically, it's all the day-to-day shit that happens within our store that stops us from really getting down and dirty into this kind of into implementing something like this. But the other main thing that also is we really have no process in place. So many of us don't really know how to implement some sort of customer engagement program. And we quite often can get, we know we need to do it, right? But we often get to a stage of analysis paralysis because we either get overwhelmed with information and we don't know where to start, or we just get to the stage where it's like, damn, this is too hard. I've got so many other things happening in my store, and I'll just continue to put out fires and do all that other crazy shit. And eventually it reaches a stage where we don't implement anything in our store, and we just end up in the same situation of trying to do the same things to try and drive revenue within our store. So it just goes back in that vicious circle. So what I want to run through now is how you go about implementing this in your store. So this is the customer engagement roadmap. And this is a worksheet which I have for my bricks and mortar retail clients. You can have a copy of this worksheet, just pop the word worksheet below and we'll get it out to you. I'm not going to go into this in any great depth, obviously, but you can utilize this worksheet. It's basically what it's all about is the steps that you need to take to build a customer engagement plan. Like, we all know we need to do it. We all know the benefits of it. Hopefully by now we know this. It's just there's that barrier between us running our retail shop and creating a plan so that we get to execute it. And what are those steps in between? And that's obviously where I come in. But that's obviously the missing piece that's getting you to the next level and getting you to execute such a plan within your business. So I'll run through it briefly. Obviously, I've already said that. So basically, it's trying to identify what tactics you're going to use. So that means whether you're going to use social media, your loyalty program, etc. What kind of goals and objectives. So we want to make sure that we're really clear about our goals. We've got measurable targets and making sure the goals are realistic. We want to make sure that we assign responsibilities, because when we put together an engagement campaign, there are going to be other people that are involved. And it's really important that we sort of map this out so we can see exactly what's going on, because the clearer it is for us as the bricks and mortar retail business owner, the clearer it is going to be for us to implement, and the clearer it is going to be for everyone else that's involved within your team as well, because everybody knows what they're doing. We want to make sure that we set timelines and deadlines. I think this is so important, because this is where we could get into the fluff factor as a bricks and mortar retail business owner, and any business owner really, because if we don't set timelines and deadlines, we're going to do things for infinity and nothing ever really gets done. And that's the whole circle that we're going into. You'll also want to make sure that we track our progress, and we set some really important KPIs. So I have spoken about at length about using key performance indicators throughout the business, but for when you run a campaign or when you do customer engagement like this, we want to have some metric in place, that so we understand whether the strategy or the tactic that we've spoken about that we're doing is working. And of course, the last part there is we want to make sure we track and measure or evaluate and adapt, and making sure that we're constantly tweaking the campaign for the next time. So some basic steps there that you should take the time to fill out, and you'll be able to come up with a really good plan that you can mainly. The whole idea behind this engagement roadmap is so that you've got steps to follow. You're basically chunking it down in a way that makes it really easy for you to follow, ultimately, so that you can execute this in your store. So in summary, want to make sure that we keep it really, really simple. This is the big thing here. We've obviously got so much going on within our store, and like I said, there's a big tendency to get analysis paralysis and put it in the too hard basket. So we want to keep it simple, and we want to make sure that we have a plan in place. Otherwise, we're just running around chasing our tail, spreading ourselves really thin, not really knowing what we're doing because we're not following a plan, and ultimately making sure that we take action to then execute and therefore increase revenue, turn around that low revenue situation within our store. So there you go. That's what it's. That's my theory, a little bit of a teaser on how you can use customer engagement to turn around low revenue within your store. Like I said, if you wanted a copy of the worksheet, just pop the word worksheet below. Make sure you like this video, subscribe if you're on YouTube, and until next week, catch you later.